Hi, I'm Mary, a librarian and book reviewer with a focus on stories written for kids, tweens, and teens. Today I get to share with you this book called George the Flybot and the Golden Owl of France, written by Nessa Bolito Schwartz and illustrated by Jason Fruchter. This story continues George the Flybot's adventures. It starts shortly after book 1 ends, and it features, once again, George the Flybot, who's a character who's been engineered by humans to do many things that humans cannot. In this second mission, he is off to France, where he's hopefully going to find a fabled statue that's been buried somewhere in the countryside. And if he finds it, then he gets to trade it for an even more valuable statue, and they'll be able to give the money to an organization that is near and dear to George's heart. But along the way, he's not the only one who's looking for this fabled treasure, and he has to use his ingenuity and his very special human components in order to get there first. This fun story continues George the Flybot's adventures very shortly after the first book ends, and because of the way that the first book resolves, this story has a little bit more of an emphasis for George as he's going through it. So he's determined to do what has been asked of him in order to fulfill his mission. So as he's going along, he encounters some other characters that are also after the treasure and have been engineered themselves. So while he's also making connections with real life animals, he finds some engineered characters that are not necessarily ones that he wants to continue working with. But as he goes along, he uses his ingenuity and his skills in order to hopefully achieve his goal. This book is really great for emerging middle grade readers, ones who are becoming more confident in reading chapter books themselves. There's a good amount of white space, lots of illustrations, and also short chapters. So all of those things put together help middle grade readers to feel confident as they're going through this story. And what I also like about these books is that the illustrations mean something a lot of times in the book. So whether they are supporting what's happening in the text or if they're offering additional information, they are useful and helpful along the plot of the story. So they definitely have value within the plot of the book. So as you're going through, you encounter lots of characters. You are observing as George is going back and forth between what he's looking for and why he's looking for it. And at the end of the book, there's also some details about what the real story is. So it invites readers who might be intrigued and curious about learning more to dive deeper into this subject matter on their own after reading George's story. So like most series fiction, it carries on with a character that readers have already started to get to know, and it has a nice resolve at the end, but it's also open to a sequel. So great for readers who are becoming more confident in reading, who like stories about mysteries and adventure, and also who don't mind having a fly as their primary character. This is a really fun story and a great continuation of the series. If it sounds like a good fit for you or for someone you know, I hope you look for it wherever you get your books.